This is Mech 23B using a bore gauge for a cylinder bore, as you can see here. So I'll show you how the tool works. This is the cylinder bore gauge, and you pull the collar off. And once you have the collar off, you'll select the correct anvil size, and it just slides right into the gauge, and this collar goes back on. Spins on like that. If you need to adjust the length of the collar, but the next size up is too big, then you can add a little washer in place. And so you'll see that there's 4 little washers that you can grab. You grab one, whichever one will work for the job. You slide it back on the anvil, and it goes on just the same. The way that we select the anvil is we need to find the cylinder bore measurements from the manufacturers, what they were originally, and you find the right size as far as that goes. Good. Then you're going to take a micrometer that is the right size for what the original cylinder bore was, and you're going to set it to that. So if it's a 3-inch cylinder bore, you're going to set your micrometer to 3 inches. And you're going to grab your cylinder bore, push the button in on one side and put the anvil up against the other side, and it has to sit within that micrometer. And once you have it within that micrometer, you want to turn the outside of the dial indicator so that it's at 0. It's a little tricky to hold it there. You might need someone else to help you. And you turn the dial indicator to 0. Once you have it to 0, you'll take the dial indicator out. So let's look at the dial indicator face. You can see on the right of the dial it says decimal 0005 inches. That means every space is decimal 0005. You can see when I push the button in with my finger on the bottom, the dial moves up and down. I need to measure 2 areas. We need to measure parallel to the crankshaft, and we need to measure perpendicular to the crankshaft. Bore number 1 and bore number 2 on your paper. Top, middle, and bottom for both measurements. And so we'll have a look at what it looks like when you rock it back and forth. You can see we're going to go down to the bottom, and we're just going to rock back and forth to get our true diameter. And you can see there so it's just on the other side of 0. When we go to the closest it goes to 0, and we know that that is the distance. You take the number of spaces times decimal 0005 and write it on your paper.